The Lafayette Parish Correctional Center, LPCC, faces a growing crisis that demands urgent action. Running LPCC is a real juggling act for those operating the jail. It means being tasked with keeping inmates away from the public, ensuring their safety, protecting the staff, and more. Add the critical situation of the jail's capacity, and it becomes even more complex. LPCC has 739 beds, but the number of beds doesn't accurately determine the jail's capacity. Real capacity is calculated by the individual classification of each inmate. With legal mandates and safety concerns determining how inmates must be separated, a large number of beds are rendered unusable. Let's break down the problem. The jail is divided into 5 floors, each with 3 wings. All wings have 2 pods, with 26 beds in each pod. One day, a female offender is taken into custody at LPCC. Legal mandates and safety concerns require gender separation by sight and sound. This situation demands that the female offender be isolated in a pod with 26 beds, meaning that 25 beds cannot be used for any other male inmates at this time. Additionally, the pod next door cannot be used for male inmates either, creating a total of 51 unusable beds. Bunk capacity has gone down from 739 beds to 688 beds, and that's just after 1 inmate classification. This graphic represents the LPCC facility. For clarity of illustration and to help explain just how complicated this problem is, we're using a scaled model of 136 beds rather than LPCC's actual 739-bed capacity. All proportions, data percentages, and operational challenges accurately reflect the real facility's conditions. So, it looks like we have room to spare, right? Wrong. Here's where all those classifications we mentioned earlier come into play. Legal mandates, risk management, and safety concerns require gender separation by sight and sound, separation of violent and non-violent inmates, isolation of 17-year-olds from adults because LPCC wasn't designed for juveniles, accommodations for physically disabled inmates, inmates requiring medical quarantine, and proper management of increasing mental health cases. The following factors also impact capacity. The loss of preset bonds forces many of those arrested on Friday to be in jail until at least Monday. Criminal sophistication, which means separating repeat inmates who may manipulate the system. Special needs that require isolating predatory inmates from vulnerable populations. Administrative segregation, which means temporarily isolating inmates for safety violations or pending disciplinary hearings. Disciplinary detention, which is segregation that results from disciplinary proceedings. And protective custody, which means safeguarding inmates from known threats or self-harm. In our example, LPCC now has 35% availability. But what happens if 2 more violent offenders are detained? That's the magnitude of our problem. Compounding these challenges, some inmates await trial for extended periods, even for minor offenses, due to bail issues, legal delays, and more. Managing the jail requires constant adjustments due to 16 to 24 new arrivals daily, each needing proper placement based on classification. This creates an environment that demands careful balance and oversight. This issue extends beyond Lafayette Parish. Louisiana has the nation's highest rate of pretrial detainees. That's double the national average, and has the highest rate of state prisoners in parish jails. Short-term solutions implemented and recommended by the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office include ceasing federal inmate contract, expediting transfer of sentenced inmates to state facilities, opening an annex for qualified inmates, expanding use of electronic monitoring for eligible house arrest cases, budgeting for overflow to other parishes, and working with all justice system partners to increase efficiency and implement diversionary programs for the least violent inmates. Despite these temporary measures, a surge in violent crime has escalated risks to both the jail and the community. A sustainable, long-term solution is critical. Public awareness and cooperation among elected officials are essential to address this issue effectively. This effort demands collaboration across all aspects of the criminal justice system and informed community engagement. For the safety of our community, it's crucial to address the systemic challenges facing our correctional facilities, beginning with LPCC. Understanding the complexity of these issues gives you the power to contribute to positive change. It's time to end the juggling act in jail management. Let's work together to shape a more effective Lafayette Parish Correctional Center and ultimately a safer community for all.